Hello everyone, this is Cookies. I've got turn 76 of EA Abysia, and I think this one turn should get its own episode. I did go through and just play this turn, so you can see what I'm thinking about doing, at least so far. Might change a few things based on feedback or stuff that, I guess, requests from Zan and Kirby, who are my disciples. And whatever they need for their war efforts. We can always switch up foraging for that. We did get a Ring of Sorcery from Kaelasa, which is handy. It means we can start forging rings ourselves using our Pretender. So with a coin and a ring, I believe we can make rings now. We also got 50 Earth Gems from Kaelasa. That's also to help with foraging. I think I'm done with hammers. I had been expanding the number of hammers, but I think I'm starting to max out the messages every turn for what I can send out. So there's not much point in having more hammers. It should be pretty easy to find a couple of hammers that I can spend for stuff that I want for myself. Might gear out a few assassins. But generally speaking, we're in pretty good shape. All right. And we do have a big battle this turn. We're storming the fort here, the Fortress of Newspring. And this has the last Zabalban army. So we'll go ahead and take a look at that in just a minute. There is a couple of magic phase attacks. We've got Heth the Melkart. He's Hormored because he did that Hell Power move, I think a turn or two ago. Shouldn't need to here, though. So, has pretty solid region. I think all he did was bless. That's all he had time to do. So, it doesn't really have a ton of protection, just has his native Dawn armor. Took a hit for 20 damage. Does have a fear effect, but it doesn't seem to be working on the ghouls. Ghouls have pretty high morale, but it's not perfect. Alright. And then we've got a battle in another magic phase. This one's not horror marked. Also going up against a fair number of bats. Now we've got Astral Shield. Yeah, and he's blessed. So this is our bless again, as a reminder. Alright. Melkart does great there. So this is Zabalba stopping recruitment there. Stopping recruitment in Laria. And then we go ahead and we get Abysia given back to us. Kirby has finished casting Nexus Gate there. So now we can move newly recruited stuff through the Nexus Gate. Skip moving through the whole cave system. Skip moving through our whole home region. And just end up in our newly conquered region, which is pretty nice. And we've got a few more battles. Let's see, Cone kills a couple of Draconians. Ulm, I suppose Ulm moves on Saramatia. I believe they also crack the fort. We've got the Guardian of the Tree. who is I guess, an Olmish hero. Natively in 4, it looks like. So very strong nature mage. Has had this shit beat out of him. We got another shaman. And we've got a Glamour 4? No. Oh, they've got the Tome of Legends. So Glamour 2, Tenebris Enchantress with a bunch of boosters, big Glamour Mage. But yeah, they're doing a lot of the late game things. Anti-Magic, Army of Bronze, Earth Shatter Army, Army and they're doing all the big buffs. They're just up against some PD. I'm a little surprised at that it actually gym baited. But yeah, I mean, they're doing all of the late game spells here. So we got Grip of Winter, Falling Frost, Strength of Gaia, Gaia's Blessing, which is really nice. I think it does all the resists for the whole army, and then army regen. Army of Bronze, Curse of Stones. Oh, here we go. Earthshatter Army, Legions of Steel. The Golem out here doing anti-magic. What is this? Has all the temporary gems. That's fun. Is this the type of golem that you could maybe justify empowering? And by empowering, I mean getting up to whoosh and then doing magic power or something. Or maybe you do that on your pretender, and then you can give your pretender this chest, and then they can cast all the things. But yeah, this is a really cool temporary gem gen. Big Nature. Army of Giants, Strength of Gaia, Divine Blessing. Gift of the Furies. Army of Shades. Some charm spam. So a lot of big spells. They only don't have the shock resistance because they did Army of Bronze. So that's the vulnerability they're choosing to leave for themselves. Which makes sense against Saramatia. They're not known for their air magic. Oh, one misfire. But yeah, they lose one Steel Maiden. But yeah, it's a pretty strong army, actually. It could use a chaff refresh, probably some more chaff, but they've got a bunch of Steel Warriors in here too. We can probably look at their Bless really quick again. I think it's a Mage Bless, though. So I don't think the Steel Warriors are anything crazy. Yeah, Reinvigoration and Spirit Sight, which is nice that they had Spirit Sight on their Bless, because it lets them, it probably helped them a lot patrol out Jen earlier in the game. Okay, and they probably took that for Ubar. So then we've got Urfel. You know, some Hinnom, Long Dead going up against a few cavemen. Okay. Then in Genport, we got Marverni attacking Arco. Some great boars. Just a casual raiding squad. They do retain the larger part of the bless, so it's not like they're completely unblessed. Alright, larger is very popular on Marverni for that reason. Then also in Genport, Vanheim rolls in. It looks like we have... Maybe they're just scripted to retreat. I don't know, they're just kind of running. Okay, and then in Underdark, Got another milk cart moving in. This one's got a Masters of the Theme. I think I pointed it out last time. It's still got the Athame part, so it's useful for the life drain, even if you're not using him as a Sabbath Master. He's got some more kit. Oh yeah, and then this was just something that Zan forgot to rescript. So he had returning on him, forgot to turn that off. So Milkheart goes home. I think he got home safely. We'll have to see. Not the end of the world either way. All right. And then here's the main entertainment for this turn. So we've got what's left of Zabalba, including we finally get to see their pretender in action. Goodness. Slytherin McSlitherson. And we've got a little party of Oniki. And we've got two big blocks of Ocelotls. And both of these blocks are going to get Steel Slice Warriors. Zabalba's going to put out a few big spells. They don't have the mage diversity anymore to do all the things. We've degraded their capabilities enough, I think. But they do have this, a couple of blue caps sprinkled in for a little bit of earth magic. They've got this King of the Mountains. And I think they're going to do a fairly decent Sabbath. If I remember right, just trying to point it out in advance so you know what you're looking at. I think most of these guys are fire mages. They're going to do evocations, largely Pillar of Fire. Most of these guys are death mages. They're going to do Skelly Spam. Although this one's, I think, Fire 5. He's going to do Fire Fend, I think. And we've got this guy, some Glamour Gems. Over on Hinnom's side, we have a traditional late game army. They're going to do all the things. The big ones for fighting this particular battle is still Firestorm and Army of Bronze. But, I mean, they're going to do a lot of other big spells, too. It's Zan at the helm, so it's pretty good scripting, despite how busy he is these days. So, yeah, it should be pretty okay. We can go ahead and take a look at the commanders. So we've got a couple of big Akka geared out. And we've got, I mean, a lot of these mages have a lot of stuff. So we've got a number of Ami that have shown up. We've got a number of Bales, a lot of them reasonably kitted. You know, big fire, astral, earth, air. So should have a lot of the magics. Oh, I guess another big one is going to be Army of Mist. Because Zabalba's lost a lot of their magic attack troops. Ocelotls do not have built-in magic attacks. This particular Bless is ethereal for them. So, I mean, we have a fair amount of magic attacks on our end. We've got Dawn Guard. We've got Melkarts, stuff like that, but generally speaking, both sides are going to have a reasonably hard time hitting each other. So that's where Firestorm comes in. This is the Earth blue cap that I was looking for. If Zabalba is going to get a big protection spell, it might be from this. Or from the King of the Mountain. Or King of Mountains. And yeah, I think that's a lot of it. Got the Son of Cocobel here. I'll probably let it play. Yeah, I'll let it play, and then I'll probably come back and look at it, and then we'll take a look at spells maybe through the first 5-ish rounds. But yeah, hope you guys enjoy this one. Another big battle. Zabalba's at a pretty big disadvantage at this point. TNN's dead, or is down to just the capital. They still have the Bless, though. We haven't stormed Ur's Cap. I am pushing Zan and Kirby to wrap up this war, at least somewhat quickly. And that's largely because the Bertos team and the Olmish team are wrapping up their wars as well pretty quickly. And I want to make sure that we're in position to push for a win before their wars are done, and maybe when some of their stuff is still at the back edges of the map. So I think at this point we've done a lot of the stuff that we've wanted to do. We've even summoned Grigori. And so I don't know that we want to drag this game out excessively long, because we do have a pretty big advantage, I think, at this point. So let's go ahead, win the game, send 20 players back into the, I guess, like the Dominions community, where they can go join new games, bring life to those games, be excited for stuff. So yeah. But yeah, I mean, I love late game. I would drag this game out if it wasn't an issue. But I think keeping 20 players cooped up in like near turn 80 is probably draining a lot of them. So let's go ahead and try to push. So yeah, so we went ahead and I guess Zan's storming this. I don't believe we pinged last turn. I think he feels pretty confident. So looking forward to this, and I will let you guys see the battle. Alright, and a Soul Slave finally gets through. He did have a lot of MR, so it was pretty reasonable for that to take a while. Oh wait, I need to filter. Let's see if I can find him. Okay, so let's check the roll really quick. So, Soul Slayed by the son of Kokabel. Got a decent roll here against a low roll. So it was 29 against 29. So it looks like we win on a tie. And that was enough to send him packing. Very low percentage chance to pull that off. I think we would have been fine though as soon as Twilight would have rolled around. I think he would have died pretty quickly. All right, so let's go ahead and watch this again. And I'll go through some of the spells that were cast. Alright, so it's round 6. Hopefully we're able to see. So we've got Army Region, Relief, Serpent's Blessing. All those are for Hinam. Most of the Ajahs are doing different smites, I think. Aken on X, mostly doing Pillar of Fire. Well, some of them did stuff like Sabbath Master, Fanaticism, Divine Channeling, stuff like that. And that's to help all the Holy Twos also smite. I really like doing that with Holy Twos, so I think that was a nice piece of scripting from Zabalba. And then we've got Featherweight Army, Thunderfend, Astral Healing, which is nice. Army of Mist, big one. Anti-Magic. Twice, I guess. It would also cover summons, but also helps if he got interrupted, which he was eating a lot of heat clouds, so it's possible. Then we got some Soul Slays. Steel Slice Warrior is very good. Both sides did that. I think Zabalba probably got a little bit better coverage, but we did all right. Then we got Firefend, Firestorm, Flameflesh Army. Yeah, Steel Slice, Doom and Astral Healing, Damage Reversal. All right. And then a lot of these Batabs were brought in. What did the blue caps do for Zabalba? We got Steel Slice, some Petrify, some Group Blur, Phantasmal Knights. And then, oh gosh. Got Chest Wounds, Mute, okay. Oh, wait. Some of the... Oh, they were all Sabbath Slaves, that makes sense. So they didn't have to cast anything, they just stood there. Yeah, Phoenix Pyre Melkart, Bloodletting. The purpose of that was to disrupt some of Zabalba's scripting. And also because this guy has a Heartweaver Scarab, so he's got 5 Blood Slaves all to himself. So as soon as if he wants, he can join the Sabbath as a master. And this was an item I put on him, so it's doing what he can. And then we've got more Phoenix Pyre. We've got Army of Bronze from a Melkart. Blood Rain from Zabalba. Army Regen from Zabalba, also good. Rush of Strength, Purify Blood. Purify Blood gives 10 poison resist, which is also good. Rush of Strength gives 4 strength to the whole army. We've got some Infernal Prison spam. That could have been real interesting, and getting rid of a big caster on our end. Might be a little bit stronger against the middle carts in the raiding game, though. Then we've got Will of the Fates out of the Son of Kokabel. And I don't know. It's like the logs get goofy in really large battles with a lot of mages. Because he clearly was casting Soul Slay. Oh, I guess that's later in the battle, so not yet, but I guess... Goodness. Doing such a bad job right now. Alright, but yeah, so I guess he's hitting Beast Bats with his Rune Smasher. And then we've got a Vision's Foe from Zabalba. Vision's Foe is fun because it causes eye loss. And yeah, I think that was a lot of the big spells. We had Firestorm, Relief from both of those from Hinam, Blood Rain from Zabalba, which does affect both sides now. So I think it's probably worse for Zabalba than for us. Divine Channeling, also from Zabalba for those smites. And then Fields of the Dead. You saw the solos coming off the edges of the battlefield. It's a minor distraction, but because they're not really as fast as wolves, and it doesn't seem like there's as many of them as Howl, at least sometimes, so they didn't do as... It's kind of a disappointing spell considering it's a cross path. I think it should be better than Howl. That's my opinion. I think in Dom 5 it was Earth Death as a cross path. It's not the most common cross path in the world. I think this spell could be buffed. I think Long Dead could also come off of the edges of the battlefield. There could probably be more of each, but the Serpent of the Underworld up to 27 MR, pretty crazy. So pretty difficult to soul slay this guy. You can see here, maybe it's easier to see on like a beast bat or something. You can see the army buffs. I don't like looking at mages for seeing army buffs because mages will sometimes self-buff. And you can see a little bit of a cold malice. They've got the regen, they've got the fire res. They did get a marble army buff. So that helps them out a little bit for protection, but it's not as good as Army of Bronze, which is what we fielded on our army. So with Berserk, we've got 24 protection on most of our stuff. So that's I guess the difference between a 9 and I think like a 7 or whatever Marble Army is. So pretty big difference in protection, helps a lot with keeping our mages up, especially since they're higher hit points and they have regen. They can often offset even a few incidental hits with regen, which is really nice. And yeah, I think that's a lot of it. We just happened to put out more big buffs. Army of Mist was a pretty big one too. Draconians really got in there and got a lot of value pretty quickly, killing a lot of stuff, I think, around here. And yeah, so the end result is we lose some Draconians, which is fine. Lose a few Long Dead, which is fine. A few Seer, which is fine. A few Eagles. All of this stuff is eminently replaceable. We spent some gems, but, you know, we probably looted a fair amount of loot, too. So I think we're probably up loot. We just have to replace some gems for the army. This is Zabalba's last army, so we don't even have to do it next turn, necessarily. And we finished off most of what's left for Zabulba. The Serpent of the Underworld. We killed 7 Oniki. He might have more in his capital, but I think this was a good number. We killed a King of the Mountains. Killed a bunch of regular mages like Kamazots. So, and we took care of near 200 Ocelotls. So we're in pretty good shape now. We can proceed with just mopping up, help this team out of the game, let them go find a new game where maybe they're having more fun. And yeah, maybe we can organize for our push to win this game, which would also be fun. I have some villains attack me. They destroy another one of my temples. And I have a couple of scouts patrolled out, which is very sad. So I lose 2 scouts here. I was hoping to catch some more of the battles here. Like I did with Ulm, I kind of wanted to see what Tianchi was doing. But I don't know that we're going to get to see that. Ulm's also taking this fort and this fort. So I think this team's just about dead. There is a fort down here that they'll have to take. So they will have to run through the underground, but they could probably raid a fair amount of this. And they only have to siege 1 fort, so it's not too bad. And what I'm thinking might happen is these 2 teams will keep fighting each other. And then maybe we end up fighting these 2 teams. Maybe they'll be in a partnership. In which case we might need to be careful because they might try to do a big dispel. They've got a lot of resources now. So we'll have to be a little bit careful about that. This is what I'm sending out this turn. And in there is the artifact, which should be going to Kailasa for the +2 Ritual Master. And then in terms of what I'm forging, I guess the big thing is the Forbidden Light. It's it gives +2 Astral, and it's also a Yearning artifact, so it's half off. So I'm going to try and forge that, and then I'll probably go for the Arc after. So another Fire Astral. Those are my 2 best incomes. I've got a nice cross path for forging that on Americano. So it makes sense that we try to dominate those artifacts. And yeah, I think we're in pretty good shape. I'll take a quick look at the graphs. Sorry about the Discord pings. I'm almost done though. Here's provinces. You can see a little bit of the racing here. We've got some forts going up. Or you see the number of forts going up for a lot of players. A lot of players are taking forts, I guess. Kailasa gave one to me. That's why he went down, and then I went up. For income, yeah, Kailasa has been giving some land to me, so my income's been going up a little bit. His has been going down a little bit. We got gem income. This is Nexus, reaching new highs. Blood income, we've got Lanka up here, and then we've got me, and then Baratos. For research, we've got Baratos and Kailasa, followed by Ulm. And then for Dominion, we've got Abysia here. For army size, we've got Merverni. The number of boars they get per turn is insane. And they've started being able to put the full suite of buffs on them. And so we've got Kailasa and Lanka here. So, and then most of my army is patrol chaff. So Baratos has a natural field army, I don't. So I'm only keeping pace on patrol chaff. So yeah, I think that's it for this turn. I hope you guys enjoyed that big battle. Hopefully we can catch some more and maybe do a few more. Need to get the scouts moving around. And yeah, I think that's it. And I will see you guys in the next one. Have a good one. Bye.